Hey guys, it's been a while. Well, if you're like one of the 5 people that associates the name Walter with System Shock 2, yeah. So, I'm just gonna go straight to the chase. A long time ago, like 10 years ago, I did a Let's Play of System Shock 2 on my first ever YouTube channel, and yeah, it's my favorite game of all time. It means a lot to me. System Shock Remaster is coming, the original remaster, I'm sorry, the remaster for the original game is coming out in, hopefully this year or next year, and I just kind of want to rekindle my love for doing recordings, and what better way to start with that than with System Shock 2. So yeah, I'm just going to hop right into it. I do like to play Impossible difficulty just because it's the most fun one for me, and generally speaking, what I'm doing for this playthrough is I'm going to be focusing on energy weapons and exotic weapons, because typically speaking, those aren't weapon classes you see people use all that often for this game, so I figured that would be a fun change of pace. So I'm just going to start it.
Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone, panting and sweating as you run through my corridors. How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine? In 2072, a rogue artificial intelligence known as Shodan lost her mind. In her limitless imagination, Shodan saw herself as a goddess, destined to inherit the earth. That image was snuffed out by the hacker who created her.
February 3rd is the day the magic happens. The Von Braun, the first starship in history capable of traveling at faster than light speed, will undertake her maiden voyage. This incredible journey is the result of teamwork between the UNN Protectorate and the incredible scientific minds at the newly relicensed Tri-Optimum Corporation. Imagine being able to travel to distant star systems in a period of weeks. It's all part of Tri-Op's commitment to the future. The Von Braun is packed with over 1.8 billion flight, scientific, and security systems, nearly all developed by Tri-Optimum and its wholly owned subsidiaries. Providing security for the Von Braun.
And not to interject over Mr. Announcer Man.
Will be no less than Captain William Bedford Diego himself.
I'm not going to
hero
interject,
of the Battle
actually.
of Boston Harbor during the Eastern States Police action. This incredible union of government and corporation is made possible by an intricate series of docking mechanisms that will allow the Rickenbacker to piggyback its way into jump space. Sleek, fast, revolutionary. Who knows what wonders await our crews in the bosom of the cosmos? All we do know is that it's a great day for mankind.
This is Dr. Levine of the UNN Van Braun. We've been hijacked by an unknown force. Ship security has been compromised. Do not allow the ship. Repeat, do not allow the ship to leave under any circumstances. I don't know what we're up against here.
Okay, I can finally talk again. So, basically, what I wanted to say was, little known fact, there's actually a really cool,
Welcome to the Ramsey Center UNN recruitment facility.
I just want to
Please watch
talk,
your step
man.
when leaving the train. The grav shafts at the end of the hall will take you to the street-level training and recruitment center. Please proceed to the grav shafts.
Are we done? Thank you. Okay, so there's actually a really cool fan fiction by Ken Levine about Tri-Optimum, and it's basically like a prequel story to System Shock 2. It goes over some of the characters. We'll make them over the playthrough, but if you've already played System Shock 2 and it's something you're into, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's really cool. It adds a little bit of depth to the world, even though I think this world already has a lot of depth. Also, just as a heads up, this is actually not System Shock 2 in its original state. There are some mods. I'm using System Shock 2 400 Shtup, kind of just texture overhauls. And I am also using some minor adjustments, some little QL mods, and some, and of course like the tactical HD weapons. I'm not using Rebirth, I just prefer the original models for this game. And none of the mods I have actually alter gameplay in any way, it's just all cosmetic. Just
Step into the grav shafts to proceed to the street level recruitment.
Just to make this, you know, recording just a little more fun, I think. Okay. And, yes, I'm gonna do the Easter egg. I can't have a playthrough without doing the Easter egg. Okay, so... Oh man, sorry, I'm drinking a Coke.
Before you choose your career, you'll want to learn some basic abilities. First, you should go into the basic training center. When you're done with basic training, proceed to the advanced training area.
Okay, so I'm not really gonna bother with the training. I know this game like the back of my hand, so I guess I probably could do it, but I don't really want to as a thing. I guess here we go.
If you've completed basic training, you're ready. Here's where you make your choice, soldier. Here's where you enlist in one of the 3 branches of the military. Once you decide on your branch of service, there's no going back. The shuttle will take you to a UNN orbital space station, where you'll receive a briefing regarding your yearly postings. Good luck.
So, normally, okay, so basically, to people who have never played System Shock 2, this is basically your class, what you pick at the very start of the game. This is like your class system. You can always, like, customize your build when you, like, actually start playing the game. So this is kind of nebulous, but, you know, depending on what you pick here, influences how you start your game. Navy is typically what I play as, and what most people tend to play as, just because it's useful. You get a little bit of combat stats, some physical stats. You get tech stats, which is like really important. Marines is all combat, basically some stats, and your OSA agent is basically the mage of the game. You know, they use psychic powers. I like Sci. I have a friend who a long time ago he did a Sci only playthrough, so I will probably link him in the description. It's cool. But normally, while I would take Navy, Marines is the only way I can actually start the game with a laser pistol, so I will be going with them. Which also means I will be unable to hack for a good portion of the time, which is like not ideal, but I mean that's part of System Shock 2. You have to make a lot of decisions like that. That's why I love this game so much. You know, every action you take matters. Yeah. Some other things that I'm gonna do for this playthrough is I'm gonna try not to save scum, even though I typically do that. And I'm gonna try my best to not talk over audio logs and such. I don't know if I'm gonna like actually edit them in, like I see some people do, but you know, I really admire this game's voice acting crew. So I'm really just a sound design of this game in general, and really everything about it. Oh my god, I'm not going to stop. But, yeah, I'm just going to do my best to preserve the integrity of this game that I care so much about.
Welcome to Space Station Wake Island, Marine. So you've survived basic training at Camp Lejeune.
Yeah, bro.
Still, you've managed to learn a thing or two about standard weapons. But now it's time for the real deal.
Yeah, man, some guy ate a donut, and our drill sergeant yelled at us, and we had to do a million push-ups because of him, man.
But the Corps is generous. You get to choose your own postings. Head up to the shuttle bays in the center of the Wake Island, and you'll be briefed on what's ahead. When you find the right posting, head into that bay to accept the assignment. Good luck, Marine.
I value the integrity of this game proceeds to make goofy noises over the fucking, guy talking. Yeah. That sounds about right. So, basically how this works is each of these tunnels you go down is more or less, in-universe, it's how you want to do your military career, but what it actually does for you is it lets you start with certain stats. Let me see here.
The Navy maintains a survival training school on the surface of Io, the third moon of Jupiter. Pros, there's no better way to improve stamina and survival skills. Cons, the 21.2% mortality rate.
Ooh.
Plus, you've got to spend the year with a bunch of Navy skanks.
Well, you know, your hazard pay better be damn good, UNN.
Not every boarding party has the luxury of gravity. So the Corps strongly recommends every one of its brethren get in some zero-G training. A year aboard the training station Guadalcanal should suffice.
Guadalcanal. And then what's the other one?
If you're partial to spending time with a lot of high explosives, this posting is for you. There's a lot of heavy lifting, but Ordnance also gets the first pick of booze and other goodies coming aboard the supply ship Gallo. Lock and load.
Okay, so basically, this is the first stage for upgrades for Marines. These are basically all stat upgrades. This is endurance, which increases the amount of hit points you get. On pretty much every other difficulty, this stat is fucking worthless. But on impossible, it's actually pretty crucial because you have 10 hit points when you first start. That's agility, which is always nice. It increases how fast you move. It also reduces the amount of recoil you take. It's good, but it's more of a secondary stat. This increases your melee damage, and it also lets you carry more stuff, and it's +2. And so because one of my best weapons of the game is going to be a melee weapon, since I'm using exotic weapons, this is a no-brainer.
If you're partial to spending time with a lot of high explosives...
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to get out of here. My fucking drill sergeant will not shut the fuck up, man. Hey, where's the bathroom? Your stint Your stint aboard the UNN Gallo is finished. Well, you've spent more exciting years, haven't you, Marine? If you ever look at another UNN packing crate, you'll put a bullet in your head. But you used the time well and bulked up considerably. Fun fact, there is a fan mission where you actually have to go on board the UNN Gallo. It's called Return to the UNN. It's not a fan mission I'm particularly fond of, but I might do it on this channel. I kind of want to do all the fan missions up for System Shock 2. Yeah, I still have a lot of respect for it. You know, it's more content for my favorite game. Fan mission is basically just a mod for this game that has more campaigns. Blah, blah, blah.
The automated asteroid ore facility and JM-432 supply the UNN shipyards, so they're crucial to defense. However, they're also prime candidates for hackers. Somebody's gotten their claws into the primary data loop, and they need a team to head in there and blast their way past the automated defense systems.
We're not even going to be mindful about it. We're just going to blow the fuck up everybody.
Dummy ammunition, live ammunition, moving targets, stationary targets, live targets. The Port MacArthur training facility has enough hardware to warm the heart of any leatherneck. A tour of duty aboard the Antigua should let you pick up some one-on-one beam weapon training from Gunnery Sergeant Malloy. But heads up, she's a world-class SOB.
Okay, so basically, these are actually our combat stats for the game. And it's pretty self-explanatory. This lets you use heavy weapons, so things like grenade launchers and fusion cannons. I am a fusion cannon apologist, by the way. I love that weapon. This is for energy weapons, and this is for standard weapons. Now, I believe picking this one actually lets you start with a shotgun, and this one lets you start with a grenade launcher, and this one lets you start with a laser pistol. So obviously this is the one I'm going to pick. But, yeah.
A tour of duty aboard the Antigua should let you pick up some one-on-one beam weapon.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, I hope we didn't give him the bad laser pistol with, like, 2 durability. Time to get off the UNN Antigua and back to Wake Island Station, and not a month too soon. 5 months into your posting, the gunnery sergeant snapped during a training exercise and killed half a troop with a live plasma fire before you tackled him. Okay, I guess I don't need to, like, overact. Rip to those guys. After that, you were in charge of all the exercises and then in the few months after, you got pretty good with, Low energy beam weapons. Okay, so yeah, they died, but I mean, it was pretty badass. Other than that, um, let me see here. Oh yeah, there's a real bastard up there. Wait, excuse me? Okay, I think that's a mod because I am fairly certain that is actually not a thing in like the actual game. Oh yeah, and there's the protocol droid doing the Macarena. That's always fun.
The colony air surface gets the dregs of the fleet, and the Antigua's the dregs of the dregs. You'll learn a lot about recalcitrant machinery on a tour of duty aboard the Antigua, if it doesn't blow you to hell and back first. The Pleiades trading station has long been a haven for the black market. However, up until now, they have not interfered with the running of station operations. Recent reports indicate that the Pleiades command staff has been overthrown, and the station is under the control of a self-appointed magnate. This must be rectified, and a Marine presence maintained on the station.
Blah, blah, blah.
The UNN Secretary General's office needs a full staff of armed guards. When things are dull, it requires a lot of standing around looking good in a uniform. When things are bad, it can require fending off a Psi terrorist assault.
Okay, so, and lastly, these are basically the closest thing to tech stats that Marine can pick. Closest thing, I mean, they straight up are tech stats. This one is Repair. Repair is basically the most useless skill in the entire game. There's very few instances where you would actually want to use it, and there's actually an item that you can get in the game that makes it completely irrelevant. There's a few cool mods that are available for this game that make it pretty cool and actually worth using, but since we are not doing any gameplay altering mods, then blah. This is Modify, and a lot of people will tell you Modify is not a very good tree. I would generally agree, but on impossible difficulty. Similar to Repair, there's an item you can get that automatically modifies stuff, and you don't have to have any skill points in Modify to do that. But on impossible difficulty, there's only 5 of them in the entire game. You need 2 of them per weapon to max it out. And, otherwise just taking Modify is a good way to get a little extra power of your gun out of your guns at the very beginning. I just did it in my last playthrough, and I actually really liked it, so food for thought. And this is maintenance, which basically lets you keep your stuff maintained using an item. And not only that, but it actually, in the case of energy weapons and anything that uses a charge, like an electronic charge, it lets you have more of that. And so, considering that I'm an energy weapons guy, this is a no-brainer.
The UNN Secretary General's office needs a full staff of armed guards.
I don't have any witty comments this time. I'm just wanting to get to my new posting. Get back to Wake Island Station pronto. Your tour of duty at the UNN home office is finished. After a year of practice in the honor guard, you look sharp in uniform. You're a lot better at keeping your rifle in tip-top shiny condition. If you had been bored much longer, you might have been tempted to take a pot shot at the tourists. Still, the maintenance skill is handy, and blah blah blah. Right. So, I'm going to let the cutscene play, and after that, we will actually get our first taste of System Shock 2. Actually, this is more like my fucking, 43rd taste of System Shock 2. I have played this game so many times, dude. When I have nothing else to do, I will just play System Shock 2. This game is like comfort food to me.
Shuttle A-138, you have clearance for landing on Levine Braun in Shuttle Bay 2. Welcome aboard, soldier.
Oops. Yeah, my chair kind of sucks. Oh, rip. Wow, that looks really terrifying. I certainly hope we don't ever have to come across one of those things.
Restoring memory. Restoring memory.
Oh no, what's going on in me brain? So this is Goggles. This is the guy we play as, and he is badass.
Steady yourself, soldier. This is Dr. Janice Polito of the computer ops staff of the Von Braun. You're safe for the time being.
Oh
You're
man.
recovering from the effects of surgery and will be unable to
Insert
remember
witty
any of the
comment about
events of the
having a
last few
hangover.
weeks. You're on board the starship Von Braun and something's gone
Oh
very,
man, somebody had a
very
period
wrong.
right in front of my
Some kind of force
shit.
has hijacked this ship. That's why you volunteered to be implanted with some experimental cybernetic implants. Rely on your cyber interface. It just might save your life. You must find an elevator and come up to Deck 4 to meet me. Deck 4. Can you remember that? But keep your eyes open. They're after us both now.
Right, so that gives us our first objective. We are supposed to go up to Deck 4 and meet a Dr. Janice Polito. Task. I'm gonna get right to the elevator and get there.
Watch out. I'm getting strange readings from that radar dish outside the window. It's become
that one?
unstable due to...
Where's the button?
Move! Take cover!
Oh! Oh my goodness! Oh! 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 Oh, I didn't die. Okay. Oh no, he did though! Oh! Oh, look at what's in his body! Oh! Oh my goodness! Oh! Alright, let me see. Okay, serious moment. Okay, cool. I actually have a point in standard. So, I am not going to be using exclusively energy and exotic weapons in that case. I will be using the pistol.
The entire sector is depressurizing and the blue vacuum shield won't last long. Get through a secure airlock before you're sucked into space. Move it!
Right, so, yeah, we are going to die if we stay here, so we need to move shit. I'm probably not going to bother with these, since they're just... I am basically probably explaining most of the information inside of them, but... okay, here's our first audio log of the game.
Great. Gotta change the access codes out of Cryo A again. Like I've got nothing better to do. I think Grassy just likes to make work for me. I'll set the new
God, I
code
relate to that.
45100. That should be easy enough to remember.
Yeah, this is Amanpour, and this is his only log in the entire game, and basically he sums up basically the feelings of any employee who has ever, like, worked and lived, blah blah blah. Fun fact, he actually is mentioned in the tooltip for our Stretch the Wrench here. A multi-purpose tool generally used for engineering purposes. When you hit someone over the head with 22 pounds of steel, they tend not to appreciate it. Taz Amanpour, Von Braun maintenance crew. And yes, the wrench is actually the only weapon you can use regardless of your character. 45100. If you've played like any kind of immersive sim game, which is that's the genre that System Shock 2 loosely falls under. If you've played any immersive sim game, that's probably a very familiar number. Oh, oh, people are alive. That's cool. Oh, I guess not. There's nasties. I did not agree to fight. Oh my god, there's a British person yelling at me.
This power cell is dead.
Polito, why are you doing this?
Nearby. Just use it and it will recharge all the power-driven devices in your possession. After you've recharged the cell, plug it into the auxiliary power outlet. That should open the airlock door. Be quick about it. The vacuum seals won't hold on much longer.
Okay, I'm probably gonna keep that to a minimum because it's probably not very entertaining for anybody aside from me. Yeah, so we are fucked.
Good. You've managed to get out before the whole area depressurized. I've just uploaded you some cybernetic modules. You can use them to upgrade your cybernetic rig at the upgrade units in this area. There are 4 types of units in the next room. One for each subsystem of your cybernetic gear. Stats, Psi, weapons, and tech. But use the modules carefully. They're hard to come by.
Oh, indeed they are, especially on impossible difficulty. So this is basically how you like level up in this game. You have these little terminals that you can come to, and you find these little cyber modules here. These are basically your skill points, and this is how you upgrade stuff. Basically how it works is you have a scaling cost for these things. When you purchase a skill, it just gets exponentially more expensive over time. So it gets very expensive to max out a skill. Typically, you want to max out a skill or two, especially on impossible difficulty, and then you kind of splash your skill points in more beneficial areas.
Hey Doc, the security bot showed up with orders for me to place this grunt into the recovery freezer. I'm no cyber doc, but I know a plant job when I see one. I suppose you know they outlawed R-grade cyber goodies after that fiasco back on Citadel Station. But hey, I just work here, right?
That's suspicious. Yeah, so I'll automatically, there are some seeds of doubt being planted about Mrs. Polito. I wonder what that could mean. Anyway, so yeah, this is an Easter egg, I guess. You can actually get into here just pressing 000. That's pretty useful. This is an example of, oh, I guess it's kind of pointless now. There was literally just an entire section explaining what code doors were. Anyway, I think that's it for the first episode. I'm just immediately going to start recording the second episode. Yeah, so when we come back, we are actually going to start sinking our teeth into the Von Braun and going to find Dr. Janice Polito. Thanks guys for watching, and if this is something you'd like to see more of, I would appreciate your feedback. You have a wonderful day.